This tutorial is for the Boston mess. This is what it looks like. You'll notice that the balls each stay in their own column and they move straight up and straight down. There's no crossing going on. My hands, on the other hand, cross back and forth one way and the other way and back again. So you alternate the way your hands cross as you're going back and forth. Now there's a lot of weird patterns going on within this pattern that no one really seems to acknowledge, but I'll mention them anyways. I don't know if they really mean anything. First of all, if you watch just my right hand, just put a glove on to make it easier to watch, you'll notice that my right hand catches the left ball, the middle ball, the right ball. Back, left, middle, right. Left, middle, right. Kind of like a typewriter. Cross, back, cross, back, cross, back. And my left hand, meanwhile, is doing the exact same thing. Left, middle, right, back. So both of your hands are actually making the same pattern, just kind of following each other, going across the pattern, jerking back, across the pattern, jerking back. And then on top of that, you have this. Hold on. You can't go on the chair, buddy, okay? Alright, now on top of that, you can actually make it go the other way. So you can go from the left side, middle, right, and back to the left. This is really awkward for me to do, but it's actually possible. Let me see if I can figure out how to do it. There we go. It's actually possible to do a full Boston mess going the opposite direction. So I don't know if this counts as a different pattern, or if it's just a different iteration of the pattern or something, but I guess there's two ways to do it, so there you go. Alright, now I'm going to explain to you how to actually do it. This pattern's not all that complicated, it's more of like a hokey-pokey affair. So I'm just going to walk you through step by step how to try to do it. We're going to have the middle column here, the right hand column, and the left hand column. You're going to start out with two balls in your right hand, one in your left. Your right hand will be in the center column, and your left hand will be in the left hand column. You're going to do one throw straight up the middle, and then you're going to move your right hand over to the right hand column, and you're going to do a throw on the left, and catch the middle one with your left hand. Like this. Okay, that's the first step. Alright, so at this point, the ball you just threw with your left hand is in midair, and your left hand is in the center column, your right hand is in the right hand column. Now this is where the cross begins. You're going to throw up the right hand column ball and cross all the way on top of your left hand to the left hand column to catch that ball as it falls. Okay? So, like that. Now your right hand ball that you just threw is hanging up there. Your arms are kind of halfway crossed, and you're going to throw from underneath your right arm with your left hand straight up in the center column and move over to catch it. Like this. Okay. Now this is the end of the first iteration. You have your arms all the way crossed, your right hand's in the left hand column, your left hand's in the right hand column, your right hand's on top, and the middle ball is up in the air where you began again. Now of course you want to work your way back to uncrossed arms, so you're going to throw your right hand ball, again your right hand should be on top, over here, move over and catch the center ball as it falls. Like that. So now you're again in this kind of awkward half-cross position where your right hand's in the center column and your left hand's underneath it, reaching all the way over to the right hand column. And you're going to throw up the left hand ball from underneath your right hand and shuttle all the way over, remember that typewriter motion, and catch this ball as it falls, like this. There you go. All you have to do now is throw up your right hand ball in the center and catch this one right back on the right hand column. And we're back where we first started. That entire first sequence is actually repeatable as a half mess. It's called a half mess because your right hand is always going to cross over on top of your left hand. You're not crossing your left hand over your right at any point in the pattern. In order to do a full Boston mess, you want to repeat this half mess, except instead of reaching over to grab that ball, you're just going to reach under your left hand to grab it. So the actual throws and catches are the same, it's just the path your hand takes to get to that left-hand column is under instead of over. That's basically all there is to the Boston mess. If you have trouble doing the full Boston, which is right hand crosses over, right hand crosses under, right hand crosses over, etc., etc., you might want to just practice the half messes until you get really comfortable with them. For me, this one's easier because my right hand's going over, and I'm more comfortable with that kind of catch. But you got to make sure you can do both of them, obviously. So maybe just practice the one that's more awkward for you by itself for a while, and then try to switch between them. Do the full Boston. Though the Boston Mass is a pretty simple pattern conceptually, I think it's really hard to make it look good. I'm not always really happy with mine because I think my balls wander left and right a bit sometimes. But what you really want them to do is make those perfect straight up and down vertical column throws. You want it to look like an isolation, like the balls are just moving up and down, pistoning, and your hands are running back and forth trying to catch them all. So it's all about those nice straight throws. And I want to even practice those by themselves, as stupid as it sounds, just to get it really, really on target. Now if you want some fun variations on the Boston Mess, you can try something like the cherry picker, which is essentially a half mess where all the catches with one hand are done as a claw. This looks pretty visually cool, but it's also kind of deceptively easy looking. It's a very fast pattern, and the hardest part of it is getting enough lift out of your claw throws, because you have to catch it and then throw it back up this way. So if you're going to try it, just make sure you throw them up high enough that you have enough time. It's going to feel slower than it looks, but it's still a pretty hard pattern. Now if you want to get really fancy, you can try doing all of your catches with both hands as claws. The hard part about this is you're going to end up with your arms crossed most of the time actually, and you're going to have to be doing claw catches from underneath your other arm, which is also busy doing claw catches. So it's kind of a doozy, but you can go for it if you want. Try to do a full Boston. Good luck with that one.